In today's equity index futures markets, let's look at the Russell futures as they're moving higher today. Russell futures trading higher for a second session, and today we're looking at the futures market up about 0.75% or 75 basis points today, the 2028 level, which corresponds with the highest level in 2.5 weeks when you look at the futures markets for the Russell, as they're coming off those recent lows and maintaining some upward price action here for a second week. And when you look at some of the driving factors, I think a couple things here influencing the markets to start the week. Number one, digging into the data, the U.S. economic data. GDP last week did come in below expectations, but there were a couple of just accounting and or just one-off type of data points within that release that skewed the numbers lower than what was anticipated. And I think when you take a look at the actual data as far as economic activity, it did meet or possibly exceed the expectations that the GDP was going to come in closer to 2.5%. So I think that that's having an impact on the Russell futures now that the markets had a chance to digest that data for a few days. Couple that with Treasury markets continuing to rally here for a second session, moving those yields off of those 5.5-month highs a couple of sessions ago. So we're seeing yields at least coming in a couple of days here in a row, and I think that that's also providing a temporary lift to the small caps and therefore benefiting the Russell futures. Now, looking at the general trends, the Russell futures did come off those April lows from a couple of weeks ago and now maintaining its upward price action. We're seeing the futures higher now 5 out of the last 7 trading sessions, as well as showing relative strength when you look at that relative to the other major equity index futures markets. A late day rally today did bring all the major averages back into positive territory, but we look at the Dow and the S&P and the NASDAQ up slightly on the session, about 0.25% depending on the futures. But overall, the Russell futures did show relative strength today, up about 0.75%. And moving to 2.5-week highs.